And so, Mark, what's important to you?
Well, a lot of things. I would say first and foremost is Erica and the four children we're blessed with. Also, the two charities I chair and the one I co-chair, and my businesses, which enable us to fund the charities. But it's really these. It's the three charities that I would say but it's really we, because Erica's every bit as much involved in all of them as I am. So the three charities we chair or co-chair together.
Amazing. And do you have perfect peace?
What a good question. I would say yes, absolutely.
And how about you, Erica?
I mean, with Erica, I mean, yeah. So we have perfect peace in the home. Now, of course, in the Jewish tradition, you strive for peace, but you never get it because what it means to be a Jew, and we get this from the story of Jacob, is to struggle. I mean, when God changes Jacob's name to Israel, he says, "You have struggled with man and God and have prevailed." So we're always struggling, and there's always another problem to solve and another challenge to confront and to deal with, and so we're always struggling to make a better world. So we're at perfect peace in our marriage, but when it comes to outside of the marriage, no, we're not at perfect peace.
And how about you, Erica? As a rabbi, do you have perfect peace?
I was intrigued that Mark answered that so quickly, but I think you also, Mark, in your answer, scratched the surface that I have a hard time saying anything is already perfect. I think in Judaism,
I think you're perfect.
Always in process. We're always in process.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate the compliment, Mark, but I think we're perfectly imperfect as our ancestors were in the Bible. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes, and it's how we pick up and continue to move forward. And I don't think that God is seeking perfection. God is seeking us to always improve in that way.
And when you responded about do you have perfect peace or not, I didn't hear what you said because Mark interrupted, but do you have perfect peace, Erica?
I would not describe having perfect peace. I would say I feel, in Hebrew, the word peace means wholeness. And so I feel a great wholeness in my life in that I have a life of deep meaning and many blessings. But I also feel that there is so much work to be done in the world. There's so much that's not yet perfected. We use the Hebrew word tikkun, to make repairs. And our understanding is that our task in this world is to be like God and partner with God in continuing to find places where we can make tikkun, or we can make repairs and improve the world. So until the time of the Messiah, we're not there yet. And our job is to see what can we do in partnership with God day by day to improve the world. And so in that sense, I can't have perfect peace because we're not there yet.
But God sent his son that you may have peace. And when he was done with the Old Testament, there was this New Testament where everything is done. You now have perfect peace. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Everything is completed because of the Son. And I know that to be true for a fact. Why don't you have perfect peace? Especially being a rabbi, how are you going to teach someone about God and perfect love if you don't have the peace yourself?
I think we just have a different outlook here.
Oh, I see. Do you want to respond to that, Mark?
What's that?
Do you want to respond?
Yeah, I asked how can she teach people about God if she doesn't have perfect peace?
Well, in the Jewish tradition, you never have perfect peace, and I think we see this in the story of Moses, where Moses is the great leader. He leads the Jews out of slavery in Egypt and to the Promised Land, but never gets to the Promised Land. And I think that's a real metaphor or guidance for how we should think about these things. Is you never get to the Promised Land, but you keep working, you keep trying, and you set a goal that you can't accomplish in your lifetime, and but you advance towards that goal and pass it off to the next generation. But that's not a description of perfect peace.
So
that's the life of Moses.
And so the Jews don't expect to ever have perfect peace. They're going to live a whole life in misery.
No, it's not misery. It's not misery. The opposite of perfect peace is no. The opposite. I mean, I'm the happiest. I mean, I have the best wife ever. I mean, no. It's not misery, but the opposite of perfect peace is not misery. It's struggle, and we can find joy in the struggle and joy in the little victories and even sometimes the setbacks that we have in the struggle. So no, we find joy in the struggle, and we find joy in the fact that we are struggling. To prepare the world for the Messiah. But no, the opposite of perfect peace, I don't think, is misery. Yeah,
and so when you say Messiah, are you talking about Christ?
No.
Who are you talking about?
We Jews and Christians have a lot in common, but we also have differences, and best friends can and do have differences. And we think the Messiah has not come yet, but we're preparing we view our role as to prepare the world for the Messiah.
Oh. So that's why the Jews don't have peace. They're still waiting for the Son, and the Messiah has already come and gone. Is that right?
Well, I mean, when the Messiah comes, we'll see. But until the Messiah comes, we have a big job to do, which is to struggle to make the world a better place. So no, in the Jewish tradition and Jewish thinking, there's no perfect peace, and we don't want perfect peace. We want to struggle. We want challenges.
Wow.
And we want to advance the world. But you can't do that if you're at perfect peace.
And Erica, you don't want perfect peace either?
We would love to get there as a world, but I think we sometimes talk about that the idea of one person. So I don't know what semantics exactly it means to you. When I think of someone at perfect peace, I sort of imagine someone up on the mountaintop meditating and just kind of blissed out. And that for us is not a successful life.
And that's not
we feel
peace
called
either.
by God to engage in the world. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned African Mission Healthcare. We're acutely aware that there are people that are as much the children of God as the 4 children in our household who are waiting at this very moment for surgeries that they need for their life. So when I think of the term perfect peace, I don't know how I could have perfect peace if I know that there's a child who doesn't yet have the medical care that they need and deserve. So that's kind of, when we think about what that definition would be, it feels like saying that there isn't work to be done. So I would not want to be living in an illusion that the work is all done and that I can feel good and complacent. I want to have that drive to improve.
That's amazing. That's mind-blowing to me. I would hate to live, I mean, I can't even imagine doing it, but I would hate to live the rest of my life without perfect peace, because people who lack perfect peace are miserable. They're like sad and lonely and depressed, suicidal, worry, stress. Who want to live in that kind of hell the rest of their life? And why is there a God that is not going to bring you that? You might as well stay with Satan if you're still going to have the same misery with God. That makes sense?
Well, we're not miserable. I mean, I think, in fact, just as an example, in Israel, where there's certainly not, there's neither, interpersonal peace nor actual peace at this moment. It's still one of the happiest countries in the world when they do these surveys. Right. I don't know who does them, but you see it on the list because there's a sense of purpose. So I think our sense of purpose, our sense of calling to be partners with God gives us great wholeness and fulfillment. So if that's what you would call perfect peace, then yes, we have that.
That's amazing.
But I think we're not familiar with calling that perfect peace.
Thanks for watching The Fallen State. We need your continued support. Donate to my nonprofit here. Subscribe and like the videos here. And tell everybody and their mama about the show.